Everybody, I hope you're well on today's full moon day. Somebody asked for a video about celebrity twin flames, so that's what I'm going to do. What do I know so far? So far, I've done a few readings for people who have celebrity twin flames, and they definitely do have celebrity twin flames. I can say that. What else? In every other respect, it's just like anybody who isn't a celebrity who's got a twin flame. So there's no difference in how I've read for those people than anybody else. Um, Mainly, it's been that they've briefly met that person when it was kind of initiation, and they got initiated into knowing that that was their twin flame. At the same time as well, the one that's playing the masculine role, because obviously I've spoken to feminines in this. Well, the ones that work primarily from feminine, because it does switch back and forth. So, it's not cut and dried like that all the time. But um, so the one that's a celebrity, that's not the one that I've spoken to, there's also knowledge there as well. Obviously, there's knowledge because, on a vibrational level, you know what you are, but there's recognition between the two people as well. When they see each other, like they could see each other in the street, or they could have a brief interaction. So one of these couples that I've read for as well, like I said, I've read for the feminine quite a few times now actually, and it really surprised me and really blew me away, the information I was getting, because if you saw it on the surface, you'd look when this person's saying, this is my twin flame, and you'd be like, no, no, it isn't. But when I read it, like I say, I read it a few times now, quite clearly it was. So I was kind of like, oh, okay, that is that. And not only was that, and that is the twin flame, um, a lot of information came in. So with some people, when I read, I get a little bit of information about the twin flame connection, as in like that person and how it's going to be with that person when they're together, and tasty details like that, right? But generally, when I read for people, I read for them at the level that they're at. So the information that comes through is to guide them and to help them through the process. And a lot of the time, it's not therefore about that person that they're connected to, what's going on in that person's life, or anything like that, because it wouldn't help them in their process, because a lot of the process is about letting go of that person, kind of detachment in the physical, so the energy can take care of the connection. But with the person that I read for a few times, it's celebrity twin flame, there's been a lot of information coming through about the twin flame, about how they're going to be in the future. So I've seen the future for that. They don't always get to see it because they don't always want me to tell that person. A lot of the time they just say you're going to be with that person, they're going to be coming back to you, but they don't give many details on future. Because they don't want you to be in that energy, like I said. But with this, there's quite a lot of stuff coming in. And as well, when I read for people, when I read for an actual twin flame rather than these general readings, it's quite often the masculine who's taking that running role, or the one that's not in awareness, or you could say not awakened, that comes in and delivers a lot of the information. So the reason that that's come in more, like the information on that for that person, is a reassurance. So like I say, you get everything that you need in a reading for where you are at the time. It's always reassurance. But I think because it's celebrity, it's like I said, if I looked at it on the surface, I'd be like, no, you're just imagining it because it's too out there, too like, because everybody would think, that's who you'd want for your twin flame, right? Because that's who that is. And, they're a celebrity and they're this person and they're very attractive and handsome and successful and la la la, right? So I think because of that, actually more reassurance came in on that being the actual twin flame and the future of it. Because I think in that person that I read for as well, there was full knowing there, and I know there is because they receive their own psychic information, but it's the same thing. The collective thought egoic thought would say, no, that can't possibly be. And it's so easy to get corded by collective ego, as you know, and fall into that lower vibrational thinking of just going along with like the masses and what they'd say about it. And you know, out there in twin flame world, there is so much negativity in people talking about it and saying it's not real, it can't possibly exist. They're imagining it. There's people that talk about it from a psychological point of view, saying you're deluded, that you are obsessed, that it's it's kind of some kind of derangement psychologically, which absolutely it is not. It's an energetic connection. If you're only reading from a psychological point of view, you're again in thought consciousness. You haven't gone into higher consciousness. You're not reading energy, so you're not picking up what it is. So that's why they say it. But when it's a celebrity twin and you've got that celebrity twin, it's very, and there's even more talk and discussion about that person. And you might have, if you went in like one of those groups on Facebook or whatever that's back for twin flames, which I advise and I stay away from, like won't go near it like it's a hot brick, for example, because there's so much in there, people saying that people that aren't twin flames, that aren't really going through the experience, that are saying that their twin flame is a celebrity. And often you'll find, if your twin flame is a celebrity, really is, truly is, that you'll find several other people in those groups telling you that your twin flame is their twin flame. And again, it can throw up in you. It's cording. It's like cording through the ego, and it can bring up a lot of... It's very easy when you're going through the process and you're in the purging stage as well, that you'll get corded into ego. And even when you're not a celebrity twin flame, you'll be like, no, it's not real. I'm not going through it. I must be mad. I must be crazy. All that kind of stuff, right? So, so that's what I know there. What else do I know? So as to like why because this is how I've seen it mostly. The masculine, the one, when you get two twin flames, right, and they come in and it's incarnated into two physical people, you'll have one representing primarily feminine and one representing primarily masculine. Although I say inside of the person, it will go, your levels will go. So you'll go up into higher consciousness at sometimes when you're not purging, so that's feminine, so more connected to feminine energy. And at other times you go down into your ego, which is all the masculine, and get down into there. So you're inside of you going back and forth in between that anyway. But there's always one that works primarily from feminine, so that's the awakened twin, and one that's the unawakened that works primarily from masculine. So I've seen it primarily, it's the masculine that is the celebrity and running. I haven't seen it the other way around at all, in fact. So that's just something I've not seen. I'm not saying it doesn't exist the other way around. And please feel free in the comments to share anything you actually really know about it in terms of that, because that might be interesting for other people that are going through this as well. So in terms of it like being mainly masculine, so the masculine energy is all about drive and ambition and ego, and in that, there is a lot of achievement in the physical world. So primarily, I feel I've seen it as a masculine example, because it's that energy that drives the need for success. So it's that energy that's going to bring that person into success in whatever field that they're going to engage in. All twin flames, all masculine twin flames are really charismatic, I have to say. And even the ones that aren't celebrities are very much in the limelight or in the spotlight, through whatever work they do. So I've always seen it that they're really powerful, charismatic, engaging. They catch the eye. You walk in a room and everybody will turn to look at them and want to be near them and want to talk to them, because you give off twin flame energy. So, and it's nothing to do with arrogance or anything like that, or overconfidence. It's nothing to do with ego in that respect. It's really just to do with this vibration that they give off, which is, it's like an aura. It's like sparkly. I'm going to go a wah-wah now. It's like all sparkly and magical, and really just like delicious, right, and tempting. So they draw people to them like moths to flames, basically. And that's all the masculines. So whether they're celebrity or not, they've got that vibe going on. And Yeah, I would say always. Even when they're at the lowest, and they do go down really low sometimes, they've still got this aura they give off. It's like even when it's the low vibe they go into, you know, because they can go through a lot of like dark night of the soul, the masculines. They'll still give off this like wounded warrior kind of vibe that's it really enticing, you know, like you want to heal them, you want to be near them to like mop their troubled brow, but it's giving off this like wounded warrior kind of wounded soldier energy, which is also really it's a really strong masculine energy they give off, right? The whiff of the masculine, basically. So, and then of course, twin flames, like in essence, are highly a source connection. So it's here to represent source and to come into awareness of source. So it's all fueled by what is source energy always. So it means that it's bringing you through to being an example of source energy. So that source energy is about things that are creative and positive and enlightening and really like special, wonderful, magical. So you'll find a lot of these masculines are engaged in quite feminine pursuits like acting, music, um, things like that. My twin is a sports person, so he's not exactly a major celebrity, but he's well known for what he does. So even he's got a little twinkle of that, right? Like I say, a lot of them, um, he's got, you know, it's more that sporty thing, so it's not really like acting or drama or anything like that. I know another twin that's in the music business, for example. He's behind the scenes in the music business. He's got a really strong aura, really strong masculine like personality. Um, and another reason they come in and they do this role of like being centre stage in whatever field they're in is because they have to draw the feminine to them. And that as well, you go through a process in the twin flame, like call it the initiation and the process and coming into like the resolution, which is about the feminine overcoming any lack of self-worth. So you've got to have, therefore, reasons to get over lack of self-worth, reasons to get over like feeling unlovable and feeling you're not worthy, you know. So you're going to have it play out between a feminine who is coming together with a masculine, and the masculine is going to be surrounded by other women, other feminines, sorry. But, you know, it could be a man or a woman, that's the masculine, but surrounded by other sexual, like people clamouring for sex, people clamouring for attention, people, because your thing that you go through as the feminine is about rising into power. So it's got to be like that, because otherwise you wouldn't have anything to shed. So that runs a little bit into like karmic partners, which I'll put another video out about, because those men or women that are around the masculine that either engage in relationship for short-term gain or long-term gain, be it karmic or be it a false twin, if you want to call it that, or essentially soulmate, another good word, is about you and how you view that going on with a masculine and your rise into power in regard to that. So there's a lot of shedding of disbelief of yourself, you know. So there's another reason that they come into that special place that's in the spotlight, because it's like you're going to have to move through the energy of you feeling like, oh, they're really something, you know, and they're not going to want me, or that's never going to happen between me and them because I'm just me and they're them. And you move through all that, and you're moving through into like higher consciousness and understanding of what you are in a very special way yourself, and your connection to source and your psychic ability and your profound wisdom and your immense creativity that was maybe even unrecognized before you were initiated into the physical act of the twin flame energy, right? So, and you're coming really into yourself. And by the time you come together with your twin at the end of the process, you've come fully into power as the feminine. So there's no doubt at all that you're a match for this person, that, you know, when you started the process, you would have thought yourself, nah, that can't be, right? There's no doubt by the time you get to the end of the process. So, and now I just want to like look at examples of twin flames and actual celebrities with their twin flames. And this isn't anyone I know personally or I've done a reading for, But you know, you can see the energy there through people that have got that kind of vibe going on, where the woman has, the feminine, sorry, has had to like come into her power, because where you've got media speculation around the celebrity who is the masculine of the twin flame, as soon as that woman comes into the, you know, you've got to bear in mind that person that's masculine twin is in the spotlight, they're in the media. Then the feminine twins coming in towards them, as soon as they hit any kind of physical coming together, there's going to be media speculation, spotlight on her as well. So she's got to be able to hold, he, she, it doesn't matter, feminine, got to be able to hold their own in relation to that energy as well, like the energy of the media, and they've got to become a force to be reckoned with. So it's really the whole journey of twin flame for the feminine who's going through it in the physical personage they are in this lifetime right now, is about their rising to complete and utter power. And it is almost like that becoming the masculine, but without becoming a narcissist or a sociopath or a psychopath, without taking it on board in that kind of like evil, destructive, chaos making way, in just so like a strength inside themselves of like, this is how it is. So my twin, just to tell you this, my twin, his name means warrior. My name means general. So you can see when the feminine and the masculine come together, it's become the feminine is the general, right? They're the soldier's commander. Actually, I think my name means commander, something like that. So I noticed that years ago. So that's really appropriate for how it turns out, because this feminine that becomes together with the masculine celebrity twin, by the time they reach that conclusion, she or he is going to be so strong and so able to just like without hold any storm that comes at them from outside forces, through media, speculation, other people around them, other, you know, people, because people are always going to be wanting that celebrity, right, one way or another, and really hold the ground. And then I keep getting Tom Hanks coming into my head, and I don't know what the name of his wife is, but I feel really strongly that's how it looks, okay? So I don't know if they were actually twin flames or not, but they're talking to me about them now. So if you look at them, if you look at the pictures in the media, there's some kind of like, you would look at him and you would say, what, he's with her? And it's that kind of energy that you might have going on with twins. It's like people would look and say, well, what are they doing together? How did they meet? How did they get together? You know, everybody's going to want to know that. And it's going to be a miraculous. It's going to, maybe they came together through something like that. I'm not sure. You know, something that was like, just there's like a complete knowingness between those two people that they're meant to be together no matter what. And that it doesn't matter what anybody else's speculation is on that, or what they're going to say about it, or because there's a lot of trying to break twins apart. As you know, throughout the journey, things come in that will bring you apart, always. Things, you know, even if you're not going through a celebrity, like structural thing like that, in your normal life, in your everyday life, people coming in, friends interfering, their friends interfering, people saying things, people trying to like break it apart. You get all that going on, get all that, you know, it can be just one sentence someone says that brings you out of your happy place in terms of that person and makes you think, you know, they're not for me for an instant, and then you bounce back into knowing they're completely for you despite everything to the contrary that's on view for everybody else. So just like that, right? Celebrity twin flames, just for fun. And fictional and non-fictional, if you know one, put them in the comments, because it's just really good energy, really good fun. So Grease, Sandy and Danny, that's one, right? Who else is celebrity twin flame or fictional twin flame? I can't think of any. I might just leave it to the comments. So but that's the one that springs to mind there. There's tons more out there, tons more. Okay. So, still trying to think of them. And I know there's more, but I can't think of them right now. But I'm not meant to then, am I? Right, so let's pull some cards out, see what else they have to say about it. Right now, what they're talking about actually is the masculine still. So they're not talking just about celebrities, but what they're saying is the masculine is wise. So the energy of the masculine warrior twin is a really wise energy behind the scenes, energetically. It's not wounded, and it is not how it appears on the surface in the physical world. So masculines, how they may appear on the surface, wounded, they're not like that in energy. They're really strong, they're really profound, they're really wise, they're all-knowing, and they drive the process through. So everything that comes to the feminine comes from the masculine, and energetically it's all known. It all comes in specific timing, exactly when it's meant to come. They bring in the psychic information that you receive, so all the voices that you hear telling you stuff, that's coming from them. So energetically, you know, it's all going on behind the scenes in perfect harmony. And just because you don't see that from the physical perspective doesn't mean that it isn't. There's never anything to worry about. So that's just what they're saying there. Because I know some people, especially with twins, and somebody made that comment on a video not long ago, that they were worried because of his drinking and drug taking, and that's so common in twins with the masculine. I have to say that they are, that when they're at a loose end, they're going to indulge in that kind of thing. And the thing is, they're at a loose end because they're not with you yet, so they're going to be at a loose end till they're with you. So, you know, because it's a loose end. The loose end that needs to be tied up is them being with you. So never to worry about that, because it's just part of the process. Also, the twins that are masculine, that are very, very creative, that's also just part of the creative kind of energy vibe that they're in. And in that kind of creative, you know, place, the music scene, the acting, the drama, all that kind of stuff is commonplace, and it's not actually going to be something unusual there, even though it might appear unusual to you. Dramatization, you know, twin flame story, your whole life is about, is a major, as it looks on the surface, kind of like a drama, compared to somebody who's not incarnated for this, because their lives look like they're comfortable and safe, and with the usual ups and downs, you know, that people go through. But of course, if you're the feminine and you're twin flame, one of the first questions when you're young that you get asked by people is very often, why are you on your own? Why aren't you married? That kind of thing, when you're going through separation. So even like, there's obstacles everywhere, right? Obstacles. And if it's not that, you're with some karmic partner that turns out to be an absolute nightmare, you know, and then you come out of it out of a haze of like what seems to be like a fog of a trance that you've been in after many years of being with some kind of abusive, narcissistic karmic partner. So, and emerge like newborn, right? So it's a really extreme journey, one way or another, for everybody concerned. That's how it's meant to be. And let's have a look at, see what else they want to say. Pull a few cards out so you can zone in on anything about celebrity twin flames. And anything particular that should be good advice, because really that's what it's all about, isn't it? For anybody that's going through that. Spotlight on that. Okay, so we've got Four of Swords coming out. Four of Swords is about not worrying, taking time out, the length of time it can take. So that's a very good point, thank you very much. With celebrity twin flames, the length of time of coming into physical reunion is longer. So don't let that get you all worried and scared and fearful, but it's just has to be a longer process because of the more attention on it, basically, that is there, the more distraction, you could say, in the masculine's life, the one who is the celebrity, the more attention on them, which is more distraction, which is more that they have to go through in terms of like their physical life. So it might just mean that we're not talking a long time, that it's an extended period of, say, separation or before you come together, but it may be a little bit longer. Then you won't have much interaction before you come into full physical reunion. some cases none at all. Um, but the separation as well, it's about how it's going to, like I say, how it's going to rise into power for the feminine, and the masculine shedding absolutely everything that's around them. And then there is, at the end of that, the reunion. So just it might take a little bit longer, and it might feel a bit different for somebody who's going through a regular, with just, somebody who isn't a celebrity, because there's going to be they said that, so much speculation. So you could just keep away from the drama, they say. Four of Swords, meditate, lie down, remove yourself from the situation. So it's best to not focus on them and what's going on in them in the physical world. Put it like this: if you're in a normal twin flame connection, it's very easy it's very hard, to spy on your twin, because they disappear from view. You might have maybe a Facebook or a Twitter or a LinkedIn, depending on what they do, or a YouTube, maybe one of those social medias. You might have that. You might have some people in common that that you can get, that they'll give you some second-hand information. But with Celebrity Twin Flame, it's there right in front of your face. You don't open a newspaper, it's there. You put on the YouTube, it's all over there. So, and as with any twin flame connection, it does not benefit to look at the physical person and what they're going through in their life. It's not going to benefit your vibration. Your vibration is much more benefited by not knowing what's going on with that person at all. So, that's something to know about that if you're going through that. It's always the case, celebrity or not. It's best not to know, because it just triggers you into fluctuation and vibration. Until you can handle the fluctuation and vibration, once you know you can handle it, you're not going to get triggered by anything you see, then that's a different matter. That's right at the end of the process. So, just that, really. Let's have a look. Anything else? Chariot, masculine and feminine, coming together for the long haul, they're saying. So that's at the end. So you've got loads of lessons to go through before you get to that point where they come together, and then both being in the spotlight together, riding off into the sunset as well. So that's very interesting. So when you come together, the careers will change of the twins. So the one who's in the spotlight will no longer be in the spotlight. They come together and they go together in a completely different direction towards completely different work. So that's what you've got to know as well. So they won't carry on doing what they're doing once you come together, because that's a very separate identity that they have whilst you're not together. So know that as well. So you come together, you ride off into the sunset or the sunlight even, and you start a new endeavour together. Yeah. Anything else? Wisdom from a much wiser perspective. So all this stuff that the celebrity comes through in their career or their scenario that they're in, whatever it is, and all that attention on them and the spotlight on them and everything they have to clear through being in that energy of having a spotlight on them, is about them coming into more wisdom at the end of it. So when you, the journey of the celebrity, right, the journey is going in with high hopes, with a really positive hopefulness around how that's going to work out for them, with a dream of not being celebrated exactly for what they do, but having what they do celebrated, because it's what they do that counts, not who they are. And that's how they go into it, what they do. Instead, they find out that they're going to be celebrated for who they are and not what they do a lot of the time, by a lot of people that are only focused on the shallow aspects of them, like what they eat for dinner, what they wear, who they're dating, what their sex life's like, all this kind of stuff, right? So it turns into the cult of celebrity rather than them being appreciated for their creativity. So the downside of their their individual journey before physical reunion is really moving through what was into really feeling like it's going to be something really positive and wonderful, through a lot of dark energy that comes in around that, that is trying to rip them away from their feeling good, right? Because all any speculation about them that they read, that they hear about them, they've got loads of people hanging on. You know, you could call that entourage, but you could also say hangers on, and those people feed, and they feed off the celebrity, and these are people that can be right around them, and these can people that can be engaged in working for the celebrity, on the team of the celebrity, that are supposed to be on part of the beneficial structure to the celebrity, but then turns out to be a negative force in some way. So they're going to come a cropper in some way in terms of that, and having to come into more faith in humanity being challenged by what they go through, basically. And then, you know, the end of that journey for them, coming into more wisdom around what they've been through, wisdom around who they are, what they're here for, wisdom around it's like they go in and then they come out the other side wiser, basically, if you can see that. So it's also a rise in power for them, but in a completely different way than it is for the feminine, because it's like the feminine's almost trying to fight towards recognition of the self. The masculine comes into all this recognition from outside of the self and then has to fight its way out of it and come into its own self. So it's almost turning to feminine energy at the end of the story, the individual story. It's coming back to self and being like, I just want to be alone. Like Greta Garbo said, famous celebrity, right? I want to be alone and I just want to be left alone, and, you know, it's not what I thought it was going to be. It hasn't turned out the way I thought it was going to be. So if you look for those celebrities that are around that go through that kind of struggle, you see them with their karmics, right, in there. You see them going through the struggle. You see them breaking free, that kind of stuff. Then you can see who the celebrities are that are twin flames, that are waiting on their true twin flame to come in at the end of the story. So you can see that by the life cycle of the celebrity themselves. So that's that. Energetic connection in the devil, something that's meant to be, pulling towards each other. Let me just have another look at this. The world, completion, end of the story, and the wounded warrior. I'm going to put them all out, actually. Let me put them all out. Right, so we've got the Emperor underneath, and the Emperor is the twin we're talking about, the masculine twin. Completion of their cycle. The world is like, that's a completion of their story. Let's just take this out here. Page of Cups, which is new love. So as they come into wisdom, right, which is the end of their story, this is where the end of the story, the world, the love comes in with the twin, the authentic twin. Justice, masculine and feminine. Right, so the twin flame that I've done the reading for the most, that's got celebrity, I know that at the end of this, when they come together, they're going to go off into a new direction, and that is all going to be about putting the world to rights in whatever way. So all that juice that has been squeezed out of becoming celebrity, gaining media attention, being the word on everyone's lips, will be put to use in a different way. So information put out into the world around justice. So that could be anything to do with modern slavery, anything that's happening right now, anything to do with like environmental issues, like looking after animals, you know, making sure we don't kill off species of animals, that kind of stuff. That's important. Anything like that, really. A voice is what we're talking about, and human rights, animal rights, that kind of thing. Okay, so that's what they're going to end up doing, something like that. All twin flames, when they come together, they're all going to be given a platform, either big time or small time, different. It's individual to each. Some might not do a lot. Some might do extreme great work. I mean, one thing about celebrity is you've got loads of money to play with, so gained loads of money, and you know, that can be thrown at many different issues, many different you know, setting up various funds and trusts and all that kind of stuff, right? So that's just a little difference there if there's loads of money. So that's where the money will go as well. So it's not going to be going on fur knickers, is it? Because nobody wants fur knickers. Right, so what have we got here? Work. It's all about work, right? And coming through work. So as well, so the connection, how it materialises, how it comes together, can be through something like work. So it may be, you see, there's always like, in terms of destiny, anybody's destiny, it's always like, here's your destiny, for example. Right, it's that great big rock there. And here's you, that little rock, and you are constantly circling your destiny. And that destiny is just waiting for you to be ready for that destiny, for you to like be brought in. And there's not just you circling, there's other people, and there's other events, and there's other situations, right? And all it takes, so these are all circling, is for one day you to be on your way, circling your destiny, and from over here, you bump into this person, event, situation, place that's also circling your destiny, and bam, you meet your destiny because this person is a link to that destiny. So there's a link coming in, oftentimes through work, as you can see, because I said it there. So, this like, well, I'm never going to meet them. How am I going to meet them? How am I going to see them again? I mean, any twin flame in separation could say that. I could say that. I've not seen him for 15 years. I know where he is, but only because I've had it through psychic stuff. I don't know where he is from like the physical dimension. If I wasn't psychic, I wouldn't know where he is. I don't, right? That kind of stuff. They've already told me I could get rid of my phone number because I don't need my phone number, which, as far as I knew, is the only link that he had to me. So, but it doesn't matter, you see, because when destiny is meant to be, you're circling your destiny, and you're gonna. The way you meet that destiny is going to come wherever it comes from at the right time when it's meant to happen and bring you into it. So it could be anything. It could be absolutely anything that brings you together with somebody that you've not seen for a really long time or spoken to for a really long time, or never even met, or just passed in the street and your eyes met. And if you passed in the street and your eyes met with a celebrity, that's possibly how you started the initiation of the energetic play out, the process. So anybody's eyes looking into your eyes is an initiation of some sort of shifting going on. But especially somebody that you're really unlikely to meet, that comes out of the blue, out of nowhere, that that you have a brief interaction with. So just look at that as well, because even apart from celebrity twin flames, everybody's got people around them that are helping them through their process. There's a lot of karmics around, yes, we know that, right? But there's also a lot of incarnates that have incarnated to help us through this process as well. And some of those, so look at if you're a celebrity twin, if you've got a celebrity twin, look at what other celebrities you might have bumped into as well. And know that that's part of your story as well. So that's all part of getting you to where you're going. What else are we looking at? Two people coming together. So we've got Two of Pentacles on the world. So the completion of the story. Two people come together, we know that. The Emperor, which is the magnification of the masculine energy. So it's like these celebrities are magnified energies of the masculine, right? They're like really big. Everybody can see them, like say, across the room. There he is. There's a masculine. Or there she is. There's no doubt romance, coming for romance. It's like at this story, when it ends for them as well, all doubt is cleared around what they want in terms of love. So, through this story they come through, where they have lots of offerings laid at their feet from people who would like to be engaged with them in some kind of sexual endeavour, and relationship, possible relationship. It's like Rita Hayworth said, right? She said, men think they're going to bed with Gilda and then they wake up with me. because she was in a really famous movie called Gilda, where she played this singing, dancing, like femme fatale. And it's like the people the men she met just wanted that. They didn't want to wake up with Rita and find out Rita was like had messy hair and spots on her face and bad breath or whatever, and problems and issues, and felt bad and felt good and stuff. They just wanted Gilda. So it's like by the end of their story, they've learned what they don't want, basically, and they don't want that. They know what they want is something real and something like that feels good and something that is going to fuel them for the rest of their lives. And that's the same for every twin flame. That's no different. It's just that with celebrities, they're going to go through maybe more partners, more publicly, and more challenged to their strength by the what is printed and said about them, and more of a clearing of dark energy publicly. So, they might have to bring things to light in terms of who people really are as well. So maybe you want to look at those celebrities that have been with partners that have turned out to be narcissists, that they've got away from, There's plenty of those about. And see how that, how that's the sign of a twin flame celebrity as well. Right, love, divine connection. So once they clear everything, just like everybody else, basically, they're going to come into their divine love connection, which, again, it's not going to look like what people expect it to look like. It's going to look like, maybe on the surface, excuse me, I've got some little bits on my card, something, look, reunion, something that isn't anything at all. People around are going to go, that's not going to last 5 minutes, because they're not equal. However, it will be equal, because look, justice there. We know they've got what they've gone through. Only that they will know what they've gone through to get where they're going, to this equal partnership that's going to come in. So it'll like defy all expectation. It'll defy all speculation. It'll defy all the odds, basically, when it comes in, because they're true twin flames. So, and then they just kind of ride off, like we said, into the distance, and that kind of media attention will die off as well. It'll go away because they won't be involved in that kind of thing, and it's all going to rise above the lower paradigm anyway, so it'll all come into like really high alignment. So all media attention, once they move together, come into their new reason for existing in the physical dimension, which will be their work together, they move into a new light, so the spotlight on them will be different. It will always be high, it will always be good. It won't be the old stuff. It will just be talking about the good work they do and how they are, what a force to be reckoned with they are, and how great they are for humanity, and that kind of stuff. So it's going to change completely in terms of that. And anything else we need to know here? Vibration. Still all about vibration, same as everybody else. Still all about resistance in the vibration, just the same as everybody else. Still all about higher self and lower self, same as everybody else. So, really, what's under here? Relationship. They're not that different from anybody else, I have to say. It's just that one's in the spotlight more than anybody who isn't a celebrity. But the process is the same for everybody else as it is for everybody else. It's the rising into power of the feminine and the coming out of ego for the masculine, and coming out of the masculine has to come out of all the constraints that they put on themselves to be what they are, to be how they're viewed by other people. And in just this case, they've got loads more eyes on them in what they're viewed as by other people. So they've got a load of resistance that they've come here to clear. So being a celebrity brings in resistance. The whole twin flame process is about clearing resistance. As you know, your journey is the journey of humanity. So in clearing your own resistance in your own life, you're clearing resistance of dark energy, thought consciousness in the whole of humanity's consciousness, in the whole of the collective consciousness. It's clearing a path for humanity to evolve so that everybody else can follow on the twin flame footsteps and come into the energy of source and receive information from source instead of from thought consciousness, and follow advice and guidance from source instead of from thought consciousness, and eventually emerge out of the cult of the celebrity completely, where there will be no eyes on celebrities like that. There will be no overpaid celebrities. There will be everybody earning a decent amount of money for what they love to do, which is how it should be, because anything else than that is in fact modern slavery. If one person's earning more, another person's earning less, then one person's a slave. They're a slave to humanity. They're a slave to the one percenters, right? In whatever way that that's coming about. So these masculines that choose to come through this celebrity cult are bringing us out of the cult of celebrity. They're bringing us through into a higher energy where we're not going to put up with that. And, you know, there's going to be equal Stevens, everybody's sharing equally in what everybody else does. So we can all enjoy our lives. And, you know, look at celebrities like Jim Carrey, for example, who for years and years and years has talked about how he used law of attraction to get his first job that paid $1 million. And he's, you know, been out there for years talking about that, trying to draw people's attention to the law of attraction. A lot of celebrities, you know, they do that work. And it's not that they're, you know, they do earn a lot of money. They earn a hell of a lot of money. But if people followed Jim Carrey's advice and they applied that to their lives, then maybe they'd also earn a lot of money. So in one way, he is trying to bring people into awareness of something that will give them a better life. You know, that kind of thing is where everything's heading, basically. I was going to put that there, wasn't I? Relationship. So the celebrity twin flames are here to pull us out of the cult of celebrity and to bring us back down to earth, into where we are focused into each and every one of our lives individually, to create a whole picture that's a happy picture. Unless, of course, there are, you know, some celebrities are narcissists. Some celebrities are definitely narcissists, and they'd be going in the opposite direction to that. So modern slavery in some sort would be high on their agenda. Because it's not like if you're a narcissist, it doesn't mean that you can't act. You can still act. Are you as good as an actor? Well, you won't have the full range of emotion to display, so it might be a bit tricky at some points. But if you think about it, narcissists' their whole life is an act, because their whole life is pretending they've got emotions that they don't feel. So yeah, perhaps some of them do make very good actors, you know. Singer-songwriters, I would say no, because you've got to have feel to write a song, haven't you? And you've got to feel to write music. It's almost like being psychic, writing music. In fact, it is, I think, it's a form of psychic stuff, writing music, because it just comes out into your head from source. Like that Paul McCartney song, where he said he just woke up and it was in his head. I can't remember which one it was. Apparently he tells a story all the time, so it's got really boring. I don't know, I'm not into Paul McCartney. But so there's always stuff going on opposite ends of the spectrum. Music industry, now there's some narcissists. The people that lie behind the machine that lies behind it, that's where the narcissism lies in the music industry. Because you can see it there, how it pulls people into these contracts where they're not able to, then they're in a contract for 10 years and they don't want to do what they're being told to do by the record company, so they end up doing nothing, and all that creativity goes to waste, and we don't get to hear any of it because they're locked into a contract for 10 years and not able to do something. So that's where it lies in the music industry, isn't it? Behind the scenes. Oh, other things as well. Fashion industry. Loads of dark energy in the fashion industry. I used to work in the fashion industry. I used to know loads of people that worked for Alexander McQueen. All his so-called friends that were around him. You know, that he was still able to find such a dark spot that he had to kill himself to get away from life, despite the many, 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 many people around him claiming to be his friends, right? So I don't know why I've digressed into that. Yeah, so just that's it really about celebrities. I hope it was helpful in some way, some kind of benefit, enlightenment. And really just to say, you know, that it's the same. There's no difference in the whole process. That's what they just said. There's no different in the process. It might feel a little bit stranger because if you're according to ego consciousness, you're going to not believe what you're going through because of the voice of ego consciousness. So divert from there into your higher consciousness. Stay with that. Trust your inner voice. Trust your inner knowing. Always be with that. Flow with the signs and the synchronicities, right? And those songs that are sung and those acts that are done and that, you know, that you're seeing that, you know, is just for you, because it is just for you. The song that they're singing on stage, it's just for you. The play or the movie that they're in, where they're looking at the screen and they're talking and they say that thing, that's just for you. Always. So always just go with your knowing, you know, and be in that energy of the profound, magical, special energy that is the twin flame experience that's manifesting through just a different way than it can manifest in some other people's lives. Okay, that's it. Lots of love. If you want me to look at anything else, please leave me a request in the comments. I'm looking forward to doing loads of videos at the moment. All right, take care, bye.